Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhamad Aiman. For question 1, we will be creating a simple calculator. The program should ask the user to enter an even round number between 10 and 30 for the first and for the second value, number 1 and number 2. The calculator also needs to operate for plus and minus only. This is the second value, an even number also as between 10 and 30. The program also need to practice error control. Display if user enter a number that is not between 10 and 20 or not even number and not an integer, the program will display wrong input. Please insert a proper input. So the display, the example is display is you have inserted 30 as the first input and 48 as second input. The result of addition between them is 78, and the program will create a loop to if the user want to calculate again, yes or no. So the flowchart is like this. First start, and the program will prompt and get number 1 and number 2. Then the program will check if the number 1 and number 2 meets the criteria that program that the question wants. That is even number 1 and number 2 that is more or equals to and less than or equals to 30. If it's not, the program will display wrong input and will start again to prompt number 1 and number 2. If it's true, we use a switch to select the operation needed. If the user selected plus, this is the formula. Answer is number 1 plus number 2. If the user selected minus, the formula is answer number 1 minus number 2. Else, we set a default, it will display wrong input. Please insert a proper input, and the program will continue to insert to display and also for the user to insert number 1 and number 2 again. When the calculation has been made, the program will display the answer and will ask the user to if they want to repeat again. So if the user enter y, that is yes, true, the program will again repeat to get the number 1 and number 2. If the answer is no, and it will display false, the program will end. So the code is here. First we declare the variable integer number 1, integer number 2, integer answer, because we want integer. And char character operation and char repeat, and we initialize this by what we declare, and we initialize repeat y to enter the loop. First, the program will ask for the user to calculate the integer in between 10 and 30, number 1 and number 2. Then you use if else loop. If else, not a loop, we use if else to check if the number is true, the integer, and even integer between 30 and 10 and 30. Then the program will ask the user to enter the operation. We use switch statement as the question asks. If the user enter plus, the program will calculate. This is the formula, answer equals to number 1 plus number 2, and the program will display the answer, and the program will ask if the user want to repeat or not. Same goes to minus. This is the equation, answer equals to number 1 minus number 2, and the program will display the answer and will ask the user to if they want to repeat the calculation or not. Else, we set as default if the user input either neither plus nor minus, the program will display wrong input. Please insert a proper input. If the user will enter number that is not an integer and even integer between 10 and 30, it will go to else here. and the program will display wrong input, please insert the proper input. And it will go back to for the user to insert a number again. It will continue for a loop until the user enter repeat as n or not as y, because the loop is, we will do while loop. The criteria is repeat equals to y or repeat equals to capital Y here. So if we run the program, this is a simple calculator. Insert an integer between 10 and 30. So we insert 24 and 26. We use calculator plus operation. You have inserted 24 as the first input and 36 as second input. The result of addition between is 50. That is correct. We want to repeat calculation. So the next integer, even integer, is 22 and 14. So minus, you have inserted 22 as the first input and 14 as the second input. The result of subtraction between input is 8. What if continue? Yes, we insert 15. 15 is not an even integer, and 14. Program will display wrong input. Even integer 10 and 20 and plus, we set division. The program will display wrong input, please insert a proper input. So we put 14 and 12 plus, the first input is 14 and the second input is 12. The result of addition between input is 26. You want to repeat? And no. And the program will end. That is all for me. Thank you.
Hello. So for the question 2, we are assigned to construct a program to find the frequency of a number. In this program, firstly, we declare the variable number I, j, count, and r. So next one is we prompt and get the number. And after that, the number will be processed in a loop, which is the loop to calculate the frequency. So let's trace our loop. In this example, we use the number is 1, 2, 2, 3. Let's go to our loop. So according to this, for I equal to 0 until I is less than 10, and then I plus plus 1. So for I equal to 0, we display the frequency of 0 is equal to, like this, display. And then we initialize count equal to 0. And we move to our next loop, which is for j equal to num, which is 1, 2, 2, 3, until j is higher than, more than 0, and then j equal to j divided by 10. So in this first loop, at this time, j is equal to 1, 2, 2, 3. And then we check the r equal to j modulus by 10, which is we left with 3 at this time. And then we check if r equal to 0, we add the count by 1, but 3 is not equal to 0, so count will not be added. And this loop will proceed until j is bigger than 0. So moving on to our next number, which is I equal to 1, where after this loop I will be added, and then at this time for I equal to 1, we display the frequency of 1 is equal to, and then we initialize again, count equal to 0. And then we go again for our next loop, which is j equal to 1, 2, 2, 3, and then r is equal to j modulus by 10, which is we left with 3. And then again we check if R equal to 1, but this one is 3 not equal to 1, so count will be not added. Again, after that, J is equal to J divided by 10, so 1, 2, 2, 3 divided by 10 is equal to 1, 2, 2, and then again R is modulus by 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2 modulus by 10, so we left with 2, and 2 is not equal to 1. And then we move again, 1 to 2 divided by 10, we left with 12, and 12 modulus by 10 is equal to 2, so 2 is not equal to 1, so count will be not added yet. And then 12 divided by 10 is equal to 1, and 1 modulus by 10 is equal to 1, and then we check R is equal to 1, where 1 is equal to 1, and counts will be added. And then we display the count that we left just now, which is 1. After that, 1 divided by 10 again, so it need to be J bigger than 0. So we move on to our next loop, which is I equal to. So we display the frequency of 2 is equal to, and then we initialize again the count, which is 0, and then the J is 1, 2, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 2, 3 modulus by 10 is equal to 3. We check again, R is not equal to 2 because 3 is not equal to 2, and the count will be added yet. And then 1, 2, 2, 3 divided by 10 is equal to 1, 2, 2, and 1, 2, 2 modulus by 10, we left with 2. And at this time, if 2 is equal to 2, we add count, add plus 1 count, and then the counter at this time become 1, and then J 1 to 2 divided by 10, it becomes 12. And then 12 modulus by 10, we left with 2, and 2 is equal to 2. So we add again count with 1. At this time, count become 2. And then again, we divided 12 by 10, it become 1. 1 modulus by 10, it become 1. And 1 is not equal to 2. So count will not be added. And then we display the 2. So here, this loop will continue until I equal to 9. So that's all for this question. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hello sir. So today I will be presenting about question 3 SPTB assignment 1. So let's go to the next slide. In question 3, okay, let me read the question first. One problem in timber management is to determine how much of an area to leave uncut so that the harvested area is reforested in a certain period of time. It is assumed that reforestation takes place at a known rate per year, depending on climate and soil condition. A reforestation equation expresses this growth as a function of the amount of timber standing and at the reforestation state. So basically, the example given, there are a formula which is 100 plus 0.05 plus times 100, which is 0.05 is reforestation rate and 100 is acres are left standing. So in this question, we need to, the value assigned is 14,000 acres, 2,500 acres uncut, and reforestation rate at 0.02. So let's move to the flow chart. In flow chart, first start and we declare the variable used is R, U, and A. So R is the rate of reforestation, U is the area angkat, and A is the acres, 14,000 acres. So while year is less than or equal to 20, they will run this formula, and then they will display the year. After that, there are index update in the last one, and the loop will come back to year until the condition satisfied year 20. When year is equal to 20, then the program will end. So this is program code that I have done to this question. Basically, I assign the value first because in this program the question does not ask to prompt and get the information from the user. So after running the code, the result are here. So this is basically the result that I have gained from this question. Just all from me. Thank you, sir.
Hi, my name is Sabri Nawi, and I will present question number 4. Design a program that calculates how much money you will end up with if you invest an amount of money at a fixed interest rate, compounded yearly. Have the user furnish the initial amount, the number of years, and the yearly interest rate in percent. This is the flowchart of the program. Start the program, prompt and get money, year, and interest, and then we will calculate the money after additional with the interest, which is money at the beginning, input money time interest. This is the additional of money at the end of the year. So this is the final money after a year. Then we will add the counter plus 1. So I will do a while loop. So while counter not equal to year, true, this loop will occur until counter is equal to year, which means this loop will happen until counter is equal to year. False, so we will display the amount of money. Then end of program. This is the C++ program. #include IOStream, #include IOmanip. This is important because we use the function of set position using namespace std internal main. Float money and interest. We declare money and interest as float. Integer year counter. We declare year and counter as integer. Cout, please enter initial amount, in money. Cout, please enter number of years, in year. Cout, please enter interest rate percent per year, in interest. This is to prompt and get money, year, and interest. Then interest equal to interest divided by 100. This is to change interest from percentage to decimal form. Then I do if selection. If money less than 0 or year less than 0 or interest less than 0, cout wrong input. This is to eliminate any error in input. Else, if there is no error present, program will continue to calculate the amount of money. So I use while loop. So this is the condition, which is counter not equal to year. So the loop will continue until counter equal to year. So in this loop, money equal to money plus money time interest. Money time interest is the additional of money after a year. This is the money at the beginning of the year, and the total we will get the money at the end of the year. Then counter plus plus. So this loop will continue to happen until counter equal to year. Then we will see out at the end of how many years. Years will have the amount of money. We set position 2, which is to set the decimal places to 2 place only. We display the money. So return. End of program. So that's all from me. Thank you.